Good afternoon, everyone. Today's ZBA Zoning Board of Adjustments meeting, it's Monday, July the 11th, and it is 1:32 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll establish that there's a quorum. There's 6 of us here, so we have a quorum. I'd like to welcome a new member, Lyndon Roberts Galindo. Hi. Yeah. Are you an alternate or full-time or?
Full-time.
Full-time, welcome. And need to review and take any action related to the minutes record of the last regular meeting held on Monday, June 6th, 2022.
We'd just like to let you know, we are short-staffed right now, so we will have those minutes next month. We'll pass on that. And we'd also like to introduce our new planner, Ray Lineberry. Ray worked under Aaron in Development Services, and now she's with us, so we're very happy to have her.
Welcome, Ray.
Thank you.
You got away from Aaron, did you?
Not completely.
Not
I mean,
completely?
he still helps.
Yeah. Where is he today? I can't pick on him
No.
if he's not here. All right, moving on. So we're going to move on the minutes to the next meeting. And item number 3, it's my understanding I'll go ahead and read it into the record. ZBA 22-12, 1021 West Concho Avenue, a request for approval of a variance from section 501.A of the zoning ordinance to allow for a 0-foot setback in lieu of the required 5-foot side setback yard in RS1 zoning to allow for an addition to be built on their home. Jeff?
Thanks, Chair Cortese, ZBA members. So our first case today is 1021 West Concho Avenue. It's in District 5, Karen Hesse-Smith in the Santa Rita neighborhood. Actually, let me go back to the aerial photo. So what they want to do is in the red, they have a house here. Let me forward ahead to the plan. Okay, so they have a house here that faces Concho Avenue, and then there's a gap where this little yellow area is, and then an attached garage. So when you have that 10-foot gap, the garage is considered an accessory structure and can go right up to the alley on this side and could go within 2 feet of the rear lot line, which is this line along here. They decided they didn't have any other space, so they wanted to apply for a laundry room permit, which is this yellow, which will now connect the house up here down to the garage in this corner. So by doing that, the garage now becomes part of the principal building, and it needs the same setbacks as the house would, which is a 20-foot rear yard and a 5-foot side yard. Obviously, the garage is legal non-conforming in that respect and won't make that setback. So on the rear yard, the same owner that owns this property here also owns this property that goes this way and faces Washington. And so they're going to, if they get approved today, they're going to replat and basically turn this into a backwards L shape. And that'll give them the 20-foot rear yard setback, because now the rear yard's down here. So they don't need a variance for that. So what you all are voting on today is the side yard variance here. Because once you put the laundry room and you attach it to the garage, remember now they need a 5-foot setback, and they're at 0. So there's a 20-foot alley here, and it's pre-existing. So staff's position, I'll go over it now, is to recommend approval, given that there's no other location available on the site, and given that the garage was already there, and it wouldn't make a difference whether it was connected here or not. And then the 20-foot setback, which is much more than 5 feet required, provides that substantial buffer. So I think I've already given my rationale, but the zoning ordinance and the state law says we have to justify one of these 3 circumstances. So we believe it's number 1. There's an unnecessary hardship here. It's not really benefiting the public or not benefiting the public, so it's not number 2. And there's nothing really with enforcement. There's no encroachments into the neighbor's lot, so it's not number 3. So we believe it's number 1 for those requirements. The surrounding conditions or location, given that there's an accessory garage already there. Just for your own interest, these are some of the other criteria we can now use under state law for a variance, but none of these are applicable today: financial cost or making the structure more non-compliant, et cetera. So just the special circumstance. We've reviewed pursuant to 207F of the zoning ordinance There's no other space for the laundry room addition, and again, that 20-foot alley provides substantial setback. Two conditions of approval we want. The applicant obtains the replat, so they can at least meet the rear yard setback and clean up some of those lot lines. What I didn't tell you on the drawing is there's actually 3 remainders that go horizontal, but the real platted lot runs north-south, so they can't get a permit anyway till they clean that up. And then number 2, the applicant obtains appropriate building permits before starting the addition. So basically, if you all approve the variance today, they've met step 1, then they do the replat, step 2, and then they get the building permit, step 3. They have the permit in, but the permit was on hold because of this. So I'll open this up for public discussion, or for y'all's discussion. We do have the applicant's contractor here if you have any questions.
Okay. Any questions? Yeah?
Can you go back to that? Just out of my curiosity. So they make the bottom part as part of the replat, you said to make the L. What's
Yes.
back there?
Yeah, so this area in here, I know it's because the aerial, you can't see the lot lines, but basically that runs in a east-west direction where you see that red roof. So this red roof right here, that's the, let me try to see if I can dot it. No. So it's basically that, it connects to Washington and it runs east-west. So this area in here, this is a little structure, but this is all nothing in here. So they will meet the 20-foot setback from this garage all the way down.
So it goes from the existing garage with the gray roof, not the red roof structure?
Correct. So the lot that it will connect to will be where those red roof structures are as well, which is about 50, 60 feet wide, so they'll easily meet the 20 feet now. They were lucky. If they hadn't have owned that second lot, then they would have had to get 2 variances today.
Staff is recommending approval on that? That would,
Yes.
any questions for Jeff? Okay, we'll take public comment. Thanks, Jeff. Good afternoon, sir. Please state your name.
Brody Dobbins. I'm here representing my boss, John Honey, couldn't make it. I and another draftsman kind of came up with this plan for him, so if you have any questions for me about how it'll be achieved and why else we couldn't put it anywhere else, I could answer those. Just the property to the south is a rent home he has, and it's, once the replat takes place, it'll, like you said, make the setback on the backside. It's just that 0 setback garage is preventing any kind of attachment unless the variance approved.
The plan that's shown there, Brody, is that a new construction for the whole thing or just for the laundry room?
So the green lines, the green walls represent new wall.
Okay.
So on the bottom side of the drawing there is the garage, which
It's already there.
currently he's got kind of a game room in it type deal. They had just adopted a little 2-year-old girl, and they're trying to make room within their existing home for another bath, so she's separate from the boys, and that can only really take place where they have a small laundry room currently. So by attaching these, it'll allow them to create that separate bath for her. And off to the side there, he was just seeing what it could look like to have a little grilling area there by the garage, but I don't think they intend to actually do that currently. It just stayed on the plan.
And just to confirm for y'all and for the ZBA members, that area north of the garage, that red area designates a fence, but not an actual building wall. So that is an outdoor area, so that fence can be right on the lot line. Just to be clear that we're basically approving the setback for the garage, but not for the area to the north, which is exempt from this because it's only actually a 2-sided fence.
And that green wall being shown on the north side of the garage is just filling in the existing door and relocating to the side with a new door facing the alley rather than facing Concho.
Any questions? Rhoda? All right, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Ask for a motion? No comments? Jeff?
I'll make a motion to approve.
There's a motion for approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. Any comments before we take the vote? From public, staff? Got the second down. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 6-0. Thank you. Next item. Item number 4, ZBA 22-08, 1613 Canal Road, which was tabled from the June 6th meeting. A request for appeal of a denial by the planning director of an administrative adjustment from section 203.B.4 of the zoning ordinance to allow for an all-weather surface driveway in lieu of a paved driveway in order to construct a carport within the single-family residential RS1 zoning district located at 1613 Canal Road.
So the applicant, since that last meeting, has discussed with staff, they've decided to revise their building permit and not go with that third garage where the driveway's going to go. They just didn't want the headache. So they verbally requested that they were withdrew, but they did not submit a written request. And so we had to keep the item on, but they're not here today. So you all have the authority to either approve it, knowing they're not planning to proceed with it anyway, deny it, which would close the file, or you could table it again. But if you table it again, you want to specify the next ZBA date.
Okay.
So you have 3 choices today.
Okay.
From talking to them, they were not opposed to either, and like I said, have no plans to move forward anymore.
Interesting. So we won't have to have any public comment on that, will we? Unless they're here. Are they here?
They're not.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to give us a presentation except for that? Well.
Because it took so long last time.
You don't remember it?
2 months ago. 4th of July was it?
There it is.
Just showing it on the screen for Ms. Roberts Galindo, so she's aware of it. So they wanted to put a driveway, there's a paved parking spot right there. And so once they built the addition, the trigger was that they needed to keep that carport, they needed to have the driveway extend from this parking spot all the way up to the street. There have been variances given down at the lake before on the longer lots, but this was a shorter lot, and so we calculated most of the newer projects, they did go in and put concrete down. And so staff's position at that time was to deny. And then we tabled it because they were thinking about maybe changing some plans around, and then they decided, you know what, we just don't want to go forward.
So they're removing the left side of the carport that wasn't permitted?
Yes, correct. And for 2 reasons. 1, it wasn't permitted, and 2, it's too close to the side lot line. It's on an angle, but it's actually very close to that neighbor who had objected as well.
So did they pull their building permit as well? Because isn't that what triggered this whole thing?
Correct. So they revised their building permit, and they're just going to get approval for these 2 parts over here, and they're going to call it a porch. And whether they park under there or not, we don't know, but their intent is not to park under there anymore. So they submitted it as a porch instead. And so, of course, that met the ordinance, and they, pending what happens today, once they remove that piece that's too close to the lot line, it can get approved, then they can go forward with the revised permit, which is just for this section.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be paved?
Correct. If it's just a porch, it doesn't have to be paved.
Right.
Even though they park underneath it.
Yes, we admitted it's kind of an open-ended thing where we,
Interesting. Does it say Go Greg? walks like I do it, talks like I do it.
Do it first and apologize later.
Yeah, I apologize, but yeah, yeah.
That's what they were doing here.
Yeah, I know.
Oops.
So you guys, when you issue the building permit, you'll make sure that that bar that extended is removed, like you guys follow up on
Correct,
all
and they've
that,
already
right?
redrawn it that way.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In all that case, go ahead. I would make a motion that we deny.
I'll second that.
I don't see much point in dragging it in.
Okay, motion's on the table, there's a second. Comments, board? All right, we'll go to vote. All in favor for denial, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Denied, 6-0.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Item number 5. Do I need to read that into the record? Public comment? Boilerplate.
No, you don't need to,
All right.
just call for public comment,
Do we
but
have any,
there's no one.
item number 5 is for public comment. Do we have any public comment on anything that's not related to this agenda? There being none, we'll move on to item 6, division report.
I have nothing else to add other than like to welcome Ray as well. Welcome to the team. Other than that, I have nothing else to add.
Thank you. Next meeting, item number 7, next meeting agenda will be, the next regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustments is scheduled to begin at 1:30 on Monday, August 1st in City Hall, East Mesarine Meeting Room. Do we have anything coming up?
We will. We'll have at least 2 new cases
Okay,
coming forward, so we will have a meeting in August.
2 meetings in a row, huh? Wow.
And just to let y'all know, I'm gonna be, gone, so you be sure and get an alternative for me, cause I'll be on vacation that time.
Thank you.
There's no alternative for you.
Hey, come
You're
on.
one and only.
Come on. I'm the one and only. That's true. Didn't know how you wanna look at that.
All right. Let's see, adjournment, item number, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Do I hear a second? Second. All right, all in favor? See you next month.